Projecting Possibilities states that art restores our soul, eases our worry, grief, and isolation. How does your artwork reflect this statement?
We're in a very unusual time now.
Yes,
we're all
certainly.
kind of isolated. We're sequestered at home. We don't see many people. There's a lot of dread. And it's a really historically almost biblical time. This doesn't really happen very often. I mean, it's very, very rare. So art is one way that it helps us communicate, but also it defines the human condition. I think the more you can expose people to it, the more people can see it, the more it can change things. Usually people have galleries and museums. They're not happening now really. Everything's virtual. So this is another kind of virtual way. I think it's really cool. Myself, I've done a lot of, I was a director of theater for many decades.
That's
and
cool.
A lot of projected scenery. So the idea of creating space, different environments through projection, I've always been attracted to. The more creative we are, the better life is.
How do you think projecting your artwork adds to its meaning for you and the viewer? And have you considered displaying your work this way in the future?
That's a great question. Yes and yes. I mean, I think that one of the cool things about projecting the art is the scale. So, the paintings, even the large paintings are maybe, 6 feet. So when they're larger, and anything that's scaled up, has more potency. So I think that's really interesting. Also, in a kind of interesting way, if you have a chance to look at art when it's scaled up, you can often see its problems. And, because not everything looks good when it's scaled. I'm actually kind of curious. So I like it actually. I think it's it animates the space. It makes it more interesting. It makes it more understandable for people who are into moving image.
So what inspired you to become an artist specifically?
Well, I mean, I've always been doing creative stuff.
But was there like a moment or like a thing that really got you to be like, that's what I want to be?
Well, I'll tell you a couple things. My parents collected paintings. And so we had a lot of paintings in my house. And they were, I don't know why, but for some reason they liked good paintings. And they liked the works of the modernists. And I guess my parents were art collectors. And so even when I was a teenager, probably even before being a teenager, we had art in the house, and we had good art. When I was a teenager, like maybe 15, I went to a camp. What it really was, it was a summer camp for the kids, mostly of bohemians, artists. After the summer, I would go up to New York. I was living in Philadelphia. I was going up to New York like every weekend and crashing at my friends' houses. And my friends' houses were artists. They were all artists. And they were very, very well known. I just thought they were cool. They were really nice. But it turns out they were really famous. So from a very early age, I was exposed to that. You know, and I always painted, but my profession, I didn't really do it as a to make money. I was a professor and I was a director for many years, and I really have only been painting seriously for about 20 years.
Which artists have been your greatest inspiration, and do you have any favorite artists in general?
I really do like Klee, Klee. He's a Swiss painter a lot because he's very he's very playful, and he plays a lot with archaic symbols, and I like him. But I like Chagall a lot. I mean, come on. I mean, Picasso. I'm an old fart, so I like the modernist. I like Rauschenberg a great deal. Robert Rauschenberg, because he's really one of the first, who took a lot of stuff and combined them. He did things called combines.
Have you changed mediums over time?
The answer is yes. Many times. In fact, I do it a lot. I use just everything. I mean, using wood. I remember did a whole series just using found wood. I would just run around the street, find headboards. I had particular styles that I liked, and then I would paint them and alter them.
Thank you so much. It was really interesting. You really, I think, taught us all so much that we didn't know. We'll definitely go check out your show at the Helms.
All right, cool. Hey, thanks very much. Those were great questions. I love doing it.